Got one. Oh, this is not little. Oh, this is not a little fish. Oh my gosh. Come on, big guy. All right. Oh, baby. Hi. Hi there. Whew. What am I talking about? What is up, everybody? My name is Jay. Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already, take a moment and subscribe to my channel, because at 3,000 subscribers, y'all, we are going to do a big reel giveaway. And no, I haven't decided which reel I'm going to give away. It is going to be a bait caster, though. Drop a comment below and let me know what y'all want to see. I know the price value is probably going to be right around $100 or so. I do know that much. But anyway, guys, in today's video, and just by the way, just pause. Did you see how big that fish was in the beginning? Wait till the end and just wait till the end to see how much it weighed and all that fun good stuff. But anyway, guys, in today's video, I'm gonna go over all the different kinds of line that you can get, and the pluses, the minuses, and just pretty much how they work and what situations they work in, and you know, the lures and baits that you can fish them in, or fish on them. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, drop a comment, like, subscribe, comment, turn on all notifications so you know when the next video drops. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm here at the water already, so I'll take you to it. Before we get too deep into this video, guys, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Carl's Bait and Tackle. Y'all know I love Carl's Bait and Tackle. Y'all know that's where I get all my lures and baits from. And you know what, guys? It's great. If you go and you become a Carl's member, you get up to 30% off. And I can't even beat that. And free shipping. So, like, it comes right to your house and it's free shipping. I feel like it's like beyond the greatest deal that I get when it comes to fishing stuff, because you're going to buy it anyway. I mean... But anyway, guys, head on over there, and if you head over right now, because today is Labor Day, use code NOWORK10 and you can get 10% off and up to 40% off for your members over there. Can't beat that. But yes, anyway, guys, back to your regular video. Alright, so first up, guys, what we have is the OG Mono, also known as Monofilament. This, guys, has been around since like the it might have been even like 18. I don't remember the exact year now, but I know it's been around for a long time. It's been around for generations beyond generations. This was the original line that came out, and it is still out. It is the original OG Monofilament. Now, the good thing about mono is, guys, truthfully, it's the most affordable, and you can't really beat that, especially for beginners. If you are a beginner, I recommend starting out with monofilament. I always recommend starting out with monofilament because it is the most affordable. And the coolest thing is that it is the most forgiving. So therefore, like, when it comes to getting snagged out there, like, you have the best chance of getting free from that one with the stretch. Mono has the most stretch, so when you pull, it will stretch the most, and depending on your situation, that can be a plus or a minus. It really just depends, but it's good for top water. It's not like the best for when it comes to something you want to sink at the bottom. Again, though, if you're a beginner, guys, monofilament can be used like across the board for everything if you really want to. It's not like the worst at anything. It's just, it has situations that it works better in. Of course, what we have here is the Googan 12-pound monofilament, guys. You see that? It's beautiful. I love this stuff. What I would recommend is starting right around somewhere between 10 to 15 pound mono if you're going to start, depending on what kind of reel you're spooling it on. Typically, your mono is going to also be your thickest in diameter per pound, if that makes any sense. Just in some comparison, I have 12-pound Googan mono right here, and then I have 20-pound Braid, Googan Braid right here. And the diameter on the 12-pound mono is 0.012 of an inch. And then on the braid, being 20 pounds, it's 0.010 on the diameter of an inch. So that just goes to show you on as far as like the difference in diameter there. You got 12-pound mono and 20-pound braid, and the braid is actually still thinner than the mono. And I know a lot of people know that, but some of y'all don't. And so therefore it's just something to think about as far as the movement coming through your eyes. You know, mono's going to give you a thicker diameter most of the time. Actually, like all of the time. Mono also has memory, and by memory I mean you'll notice that when you throw your line out there, sorry I can't speak, that's typical, right? When you throw your line out there, you'll see on your line that it's going around in circles like this, and that's each time it goes around your spool. That's memory. So another like negative thing about mono is that it does have some memory there. It doesn't have the most memory, but it does have memory. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about what line to pick out. Again, though, for you beginners, go with mono. Just start there. I promise you, you won't regret it, especially if you're using a bait caster. When it comes to pulling out like backlashes and bird's nest, mono is going to be your easiest one to work with. So if you're starting in general in fishing, or if you're definitely starting on a bait caster, I would start with mono and then work your way from there. The best things to throw on monofilament are going to be like crankbaits, jerk baits, square bills, and even possibly swim baits. Things that are good on top water or like right under the top water. Those are going to be the best things for mono. If you're not experienced with braid, you can throw a frog as well. Just remember the stretch, guys. When it comes to a hook set, if you're setting the hook with mono, you're going to have that stretch there to think about. So just remember the stretch. Mono is the stretchiest one of them all. Alright, now let's move on to the one that's probably talked about the most, and is probably the most popular across the board when it comes to experienced anglers. And that's the good old fluorocarbon. We got 10-pound Googan fluoro right here, guys. Let's talk about it. Fluorocarbon. So what's good about fluoro? Fluoro is good for sinking. It sinks. It does not float. By the way, something else I didn't mention about mono, which I should have, but me saying that made me realize. Mono floats. So that's why it's good for top water. Fluoro sinks. It does not float. It sinks. So things you want to fish on fluorocarbon are things you're going to want to sink. So like a weighted Texas rig, jigs, sometimes even a lipless. A Tokyo rig, that's a good one. You want those things you want to get down there and stay down there. Another beautiful thing about fluoro, guys, is that it can barely be seen. It's nearly invisible when it hits the water, so their fish can't really see it at all. So that's one of the biggest things to me is I like the invisibility. You want the sneaky factor. You don't want those fish seeing your line, because if they see your line, they're going to lead right to it. They're going to see what's attached, and they're just going to not take it. Fluorocarbon is also going to be your smallest in diameter. Well, actually that's a lie. It's going to be your second smallest in diameter. It is going to be smaller in diameter than mono, but not as small as braid. So it's right in the middle there, guys. The one thing that's bad about fluoro is the memory. The memory is the worst on fluoro. It is worse than mono, and it's definitely worse than braid. So that's the one bad thing about fluoro, and that's why a lot of anglers actually do a braid to fluoro leader, because on the actual spool part they have braid, and we'll get into braid in a few seconds, but they'll have braid and then they'll have a leader. So it just depends. A lot of times they'll do like 6 foot, something like 2 arm lengths of like that of fluoro, so a leader of fluoro, so therefore it has less chance to have the memory. Fluoro also is not nearly as stretchy as mono when it comes to the diameter, because fluoro can have a little bit of stretch, but if you pound per pound next to mono, it does not stretch as much as mono. Another negative thing about fluorocarbon is it can easily break. Because of that memory that it has, it can easily kink in the line, and when it kinks, it's almost like glass, especially when you're in the colder months and you hit cold water with your fluoro. I was about to say with your glass. when you hit the water with the fluoro. It's cold, and if you have a kink in your line, it is more likely to just snap like a twig, just because of that's how it is. It's fluorocarbon. Moving on to the last but not least, of course, category here of line is braid. Now this is some Googan 20 pound 8 times braid. Now you see the 8 there. What that means is that it's 8 individual strands to make the actual braid itself. Now you'll see some out there that are 4 strands, and then you have 8 strands. 8 strands is typically stronger than 4 strands. It's kind of like math, I guess, in that sense. Now, when it comes to braid, it floats. It is going to be the easiest floater of all of them. It's also going to be something that if you're good at it and you throw it, or you know it well, it also is great for top water. And the most popular thing that they fish on it, guys, is top water frogs. That is literally like the one thing. If you fish anything on braid, it's a top water frog typically. There's other things you can fish too with it, but like that's the most popular thing out there that people fish on braid is top water frogs. It is the smallest in diameter when it comes pound per pound. When it comes next to fluoro and mono, it is the smallest. Tiny. Now that has its pluses and it has its minuses. The positive part to that is that it comes through your eyes on your fishing pole real easy because it's smaller. So therefore, if you have small guides, they'll go right through, no problem. And you're not going to have that issue really with bigger diameter line, but if you have small eyes, you actually can run into that issue depending on how much of a pound you have on your line. But with braid, you're typically not going to run into that problem like at all. The downfall to line being so thin and so easy to cut is just that, is the cut part. If it's underwater and it gets caught between rocks, braid will actually cut easier than fluoro will. And I know I mentioned fluoro, how it could break like a twig, but the thing is that it's braid, it's string, you put scissors up to any kind of like string and it just cuts, no problem. Fluoro and mono, at least because they're like a nylon and a plastic kind of material, they stretch a little bit first before they break completely. So that's one of the downfalls to it also being one of the smaller diameter lines, the smallest diameter line. When it comes to braid, it has no memory. None. Literally none. Like when you throw braid out there and you reel it back in, there's not a whole lot of, there's nothing. There's no memory on that line. Which is why, to me, braid is perfect for spinning combos. I don't know if you've tried it, and maybe when you will, you'll notice, but if you try to put mono or fluoro, just straight mono or fluoro on your spinning combos, it gets to be so aggravating with how many like spirals you have in your line, and you can't help but throw it out. That's just how the spinning combo works. So do yourself a favor. The next time you are spooling up, grab yourself some braid and then attempt to possibly do a fluoro or a mono leader. But they're great. There's no memory, so that's what they're great for spinning combos, in my opinion. I don't know about a bait caster. I'm still learning when it comes to braid itself. I've used it in the past and I've caught fish on it. I have to get out of my old ways as far as trying to learn something new. I've been hearing a lot about braid to leader, and I think I've tried it. I have tried it with my spinning combos and I like it a lot. The most common weight on braids that people use is typically 65 pounds. I have heard that 50 pounds is also doable, but 65 is just apparently the most popular one that's out there right now. I like to do this right here. 20 pounds is good for me, and that's because I like setting it up on my spinning combos and I like to go finesse. So I'll do something like a 10 to 20 pound braid, and then I'll put somewhere in there on a smaller weight leader, typically fluorocarbon. Now that's where braid is also beneficial, is that if you're not trying to like run through all your fluorocarbon, because it's not cheap, because fluorocarbon is the most expensive of all of them, and then braid, well, I guess it really depends. Actually, I think they're pretty comparable. I do believe fluorocarbon, at last I checked, fluorocarbon was the most expensive. So a lot of the times what a lot of anglers will do is they will do a braid to leader, like I've been saying. And so therefore they'll put the braid all the way on their spool, and it lasts a long time because it doesn't have memory. And then they'll do about 6 to 8 to 10 feet of a leader, typically fluorocarbon, but you do have those guys out there that do mono instead. It really depends on your situation. But that way you're saving money ultimately because you're not using near as much fluoro. That makes sense, right? Like you're only using a leader part of it. You're not using the whole thing. So you're only using, 6 to 8 feet of your fluoro versus, the whole spool of the fluoro. All right, guys, so that wraps it up for the 3 most common types of fishing line that people use. And those are the 3 that you hear everybody talking about. Why? Because they're the most popular, and those are the most popular ones that people use. So those are the ones that people talk about the most. Now, there's like a few more that people don't talk about, and they fall in what they call a copolymer category. What a copolymer category is typically a mixture of 1 or 2 of them. So you're talking about hybrids. You're typically talking about a hybrid that's between a mono and a fluorocarbon. So it's kind of like anything you can do, I can do better when it comes to monofilament and fluoro, I guess. It's right in the middle a lot of the times, and I don't have any to show you in hand right now, but I can still describe it to you. So a copolymer line, like I said, it's a hybrid. So typically it's made up of 2 materials in the nylon family, which, by the way, monofilament is just 1 material, mono. Just if anybody knew, mono stood for 1. And monofilament, 1 material, it's typically nylon. So copolymer is 2 or more, usually 2, and it's typically still within that nylon family. A copolymer is something that it usually doesn't float, but it sinks slower than regular fluoro. It doesn't have as much stretch as mono, but it doesn't break like fluoro. Truthfully, to me, I think the copolymer is a great in-between step. If you're wanting to go from mono to fluoro, and you tried and you went and threw fluoro and it was just like night and day from mono, which it can be. I'm just giving you a heads up now. If you threw mono and then you go out and you throw fluoro, you're not going to have the same experience. So I would definitely also when it comes to price, the price of copolymer isn't as bad as fluoro. It's more on the affordable side like mono. It's not as affordable as mono, but it's a good in between. I think it's still affordable, and you can find some really good line out there. So what I would do is I would definitely take the time to just go that in between step so you can kind of like ease your way into fluorocarbon, because fluorocarbon's a whole nother ball game when you throw it, guys. And when it comes to fluoro, it's the hardest to get out of bird nests and backlash. Copolymer's not too bad. I've done it. I have yet to get one that's gotten me to a point where I have to cut it all the way off my spool. So knock on wood. I got wood all around me. But I don't have a hard time with copolymer. I have had to cut fluoro out before, so I mean, copolymer to me is like a go-to rod and reel combo. It's kind of like you want something that kind of does it all, and you're not really getting too specific. You're just kind of going out. It's a good like go-to line. It has the pluses and minuses when it comes to like the character. When you're picking somebody out, you want them just kind of level all across the board. Copolymer is good for that too. So I definitely think and recommend a good copolymer line. They have if you go over to Shop Carl's, there's good copolymer line on there as well. I can't think of any right off the top of my head. P-Line is a good one. As I said, I don't have any on top of my head. That came to mind. P-Line has good fluorocarbon. I do recommend them. I'm waiting for Googan. I'm sure eventually when Googan comes around, they will come out with a good copolymer. That would be cool for sure. What's good to throw on copolymer is just about anything. That's kind of the benefits of copolymer. I feel like I have yet to throw anything that I've been completely upset with. Now, is it going to be the best for everything? No, but Can you get the job done? Yeah, copolymer is definitely a good one you can get the job done with. If you're just looking to go out, walk the bank, and have a good time, and just trying to take one combo with you, and you're not trying to do it, you want it all to get done though, stick with the copolymer. And like I said, if you're still beginning, start with your mono. If you wanna try it out and you want something and you're trying to be sneaky and you really need to get down and dirty in the water, go for your fluoro. You have your situations where you need your braid. I'm still learning a lot of those situations. I know frogs are good, top water, because they do float. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave you there with it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. That's my biggest goal, guys, is I really want to teach you guys a lot. I'm still learning a lot. And like I said, I feel like as I learn, I want to teach, because I feel like that's just one of the best things to do, is why not? So I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, turn on all your notifications so you know when the next video drops. I don't know, guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. This is great. I've had a great time. Don't forget to stay tuned. Oh, I had a bug. Don't you hate that? Right now, get off the camera. Anyway, sorry. We're trying to do an outro. Anyway, guys. Yep, that's me. My brain's just kind of woo now. I just was like, what am I doing? There's a bug, man. He's on my screen. Get off, go. All right. Anyway, guys, sorry. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, turn on all your notifications so you know when the next video drops. I am dropping them, trying to get better about that. Don't forget to stay tuned to the end here so you can see just how big that fish was. You guys know how it goes, right? As long as we are out here fishing, we are out here catching, and we are out here trying to teach you something new. No complaints. Guys, this has got to be at least a 3-pound fish. Got on that shaky head, why can't I think? Lunker, black and blue. Oh, baby. We're going to get a scale on her. Yeah. Y'all, 4.76. This big girl. Almost 5 pounds. What am I doing, y'all? I don't know what's going on. Woo, baby. Yeah, got to get good pictures with her. There she goes. Scared me there for a second, girl. Woo.